What's up, ducks and duckettes? Trevor Thompson, the self-appointed Looney Tunes critic here. A very tired Looney Tunes critic, I must say. I was up this morning at 3 a.m. because I am on the East Coast and HBO Max is on the West Coast, and it launched this morning at midnight over there. So I was up since then getting all sorts of information and stuff like that, and getting the just setting the stage here on the channel for now the world that has the Looney Tunes cartoons in it. Season 1 of the Looney Tunes cartoons, I can now reveal this. Some people thought all of the cartoons were going to show up on the platform at once. At one time, I thought that, actually. Also, some of you may have seen this video I put together of 5 previously unavailable restored Bugs Bunny shorts. Those are on HBO Max, and I'm certain there will be more stuff that's been restored but just hasn't seen any kind of release. Now, as for the new cartoons themselves, I have seen everything now, and at least I've seen everything as it in the proper presented form. And I can honestly say, after watching the first 10 episodes, which is what the first season makes up, and it is it's 10 episodes, about 11 minutes in length, and the cartoons themselves vary. Some of them are short, long. Some are just they get you to 11 minutes. And the reason I'm doing a commentary for this right now is because it's on the day. And this cartoon, it's called Fleece and Desist, and I dare say it's the best one of season 1. If my opinion means anything to you, or watching videos where I dispense my opinion means anything to you, let it be known that this is my favorite cartoon of the first season. And I had some immediate thoughts right away when I saw it, and I'm going to share them with you now as best I can. So here we go. Wait a minute. Actually, before I get started, real quick, here are the credits for this actual short. The not generic credits, but the credits for people who had the most immediate involvement with this short. Okay, now let's watch. A Looney Tunes cartoon indeed. And I have to say, the first thing that I would nitpick in any of these cartoons is the color. But
resting this weekend, Sam?
No, not much, I'm afraid, Ralph.
Well, no news is good news, I always say.
That is Jeff Bergman and Fred Tatasciore doing Ralph and Sam, respectively. And as I say here, I normally do complain about the color, but with the exception of this grass, I gotta tell you, man, this is the one where the color looks the most cinematic, as it should, because let's be fair, they are taking their cues from theatrical cartoons, and all this stuff. This is I want to say this is mainly David Gemmell. He has he's involved with the writing credits, and he's also a director credit, but that right there, that's Dave. There's a lot of his stuff in here. If you're familiar with his animations and his drawing style, a lot of that stuff sticks out, which is, if you want this to be in a Chuck Jones style, it is, insofar as, it's layout pose heavy, but it's very funny, and you can see a specific director's art style. That doesn't mean that they were necessarily going for that. It doesn't mean that they weren't, but it is definitely like this right here. If I didn't know better, I'd say Dave animated that himself. It just feels like him, that's great, isn't it? And then, and they got the color on Ralph, perfect, and Sam, but Ralph, I complained earlier that the coyote looked purple, and he does. But here they got it right. There's no, I grant you there's no blue in, that's the color the grass should be, I think. But, the coyote, his color was, there's some blue in there, but there's no red. Oh, this is all Dave. This has to be Dave. Because it looks like a person drew it. Now, unfortunately, there is a fair amount of this that gets lost in that's always going to happen in the digital, because if you look at any kind of, drawn, layout poses and stuff like that, there's going to be so much more energy. You look at the old Chuck Jones layout poses and stuff, they feel like they're about to move because there's just an inherent energy in them that kind of gets lost in the finalization process. But I mean, it's still funny. It's still a good cartoon. I like this one. So all the haters, go ahead, drink your haterade. Let's see if there's anything else that's worth going into more detail about with this. Because when I say it feels, when I say like the color is kind of cinematic, I mean, it kind of reminds one a little bit of like the early 90s Chuck Jones, because he was still using Murray's Noble to do his color work as well, but not to do the background stuff, but certainly he was a color consultant. And there was some stuff there that really felt like, it had been seen through the eyes of a Technicolor, 3-strip tech. And that's really hard to do, especially in something like this, which is digital. Oh my God, I want to go frame by frame on this just to really get into this. Now, the other reason I like this is that it feels like Chuck, but it doesn't. It also feels like a person who loves Chuck and loves his work, worked on this, and all of their influences, in addition to Chuck, are on display here. And yes, I would say that there is a fair amount of Ren and Stimpy in here, but there's a fair amount of Ren and Stimpy in everything that you see that's made for TV today, whether it's style or just in terms of the way it's made. But I would say this cartoon has the least amount of what I would say is what I would call negative, or just, we've seen it before, and so it's unnecessary Ren and Stimpy-ness. Even in slow motion, this makes me laugh. This was to me, as good as it got. And I will have, of course, a more detailed review once I get. I say again because I feel like you guys are all watching every video equally. But I am definitely. I'm moving. I'm still in the process of moving. I'll be all moved out by Friday. But I am working on a review of these cartoons, and it's a little bit about the review, but more to the point, it's a review for people who really need these cartoons to be as good as the originals and made the same way that the originals were. And that review will basically explain how that is not the case and how it could never be the case. By citing multiple examples where we were promised the goods before, a return to form. Now, I will say, as the youngest old guy or the oldest young guy in this Looney Tunes historian world, I remember it all, man. I remember every time we were promised, and yes, for the record, this is as good as it ever was, and it's never been better in terms of a series. However, it will never get better than this. Just know, just so you know. And if you can't take my word for it, then by all means watch the review, because we talk to experts, we talk to people with conflicting opinions and reasons for that opinion beyond just watching videos on YouTube. Okay, boomer. So yeah, with that in mind, please like and subscribe, give a thumbs up. I need all that stuff because YouTube is an algorithm. Guy I went to high school, algorithm. Anyway, here's sold really good weed. Anyway, folks, that is going to do it for this particular episode of Trev Talks Shit About Stuff You Love. But that's going to do it. I'm Trevor Thompson, the self-appointed Looney Tunes critic. And until next time, that's all, folks. Well, you may think that your Looney Tunes collection is sufficient enough. I might think it's sufficient or deficient. Oh, I just have a few dolls and the DVDs here. Well, that's of course not everything, but what I have are the best versions available. Some of the best versions available of these cartoons that you're likely to find anywhere. And so if you want to learn more about them or more about the restoration process of these cartoons or the history of these cartoons, any number of things related to Looney Tunes and Merry Melodies, you're going to want to subscribe or click on one of those videos up there. You're going to want to do it. Trust me.